What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Sports talk. Alright, check it out, man. We talking about this Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. This whole debacle. Man, what a tangled web for 4-belt undisputed. You know, all of these guys right here play a factor in this. Usyk, Wilder, AJ, Joshua. Facts are, we want this fight, but it could be some hurdles in this fight, and us getting this fight next year. And you know, it starts with the Deontay Wilder situation. You know, losing to Tyson Fury, and they had a rematch in place because of the pandemic and fights being delayed and everything. Bob Arum and Tyson Fury's team feel as if, you know, the time had expired, and supposed Wilder and his team feel that due to the pandemic and everything that's going on, that should be excused. They actually have laws behind that, force majeure. Either way, it goes to arbitration and mediation, and I don't think that we've come to a conclusion yet whether Wilder's out of the picture or not. Now, Bob Arum and Tyson Fury are talking as if they're going to move forward without Wilder. And Wilder and his camp, you know, definitely has the insight, or I should say, the feeling that they can win this fight. Now, many fans might not believe so. I think Fury beats him again. However, we cannot forget that he knocked him out cold. Whether it was for 3 seconds or what have you, and Fury got back to his feet, he was out for a second. And we can't act as if it's impossible for that to happen again, for Fury to be clipped again. Wilder and his team are probably confident that they can do it again. And he wants a title shot. He wants a shot to get his belt back. And so we haven't come to a conclusion whether Wilder's out of the picture, but it does appear that Tyson Fury and the top ranked team is going to move forward regardless. Okay, so with that being said, we move forward to Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. Now, look, man, Anthony Joshua having all of these belts, when you unified 3 belts and such, you have all of these belts, you're gonna have to satisfy mandatories from different sanctioning bodies. It can't just be, you know, mandatory from one sanctioning body, then you're all clear, because they all need their money, they all need their funds. So Oleksandr Usyk utilized his WBO exclusion, and he was supposed to immediately get a fight with Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua had an IBF obligation and a mandatory with Pulev. So Oleksandr Usyk and his team decided to step aside and allow them to go ahead and make that fight. And so, you know, when that happened, Oleksandr Usyk and his team put in there, look, after you take care of this Pulev situation, then we have to be next. And so, you know, it's to the point where Usyk did everything he needed to do at the cruiserweight division, unified the titles, and he wants to take it to the next level. And he was asked to step aside initially, and he stepped aside. And now this is round 2, and Usyk is not really interested in stepping aside. Now, of course, money is always at play here when we consider these things. Money's always at play. And as I said before, you know, with Anthony Joshua, you know, and this is a report from Sky Sports, says Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury talks ongoing, but Oleksandr Usyk non-title return never under discussion. There were talks about an interim title or Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury winner relinquishing the WBO title the next day, says Oleksandr Usyk's promoter. AJ and Fury plan an undisputed heavyweight title fight, but mandatory challenger Oleksandr Usyk, he's not giving up his rights. And so that's a monkey wrench in this whole Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury debacle. On the Tyson Fury side of things, promoter Bob Arum, on Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua's talk. This is Bob Arum saying I'm 95% confident this fight happens, and I'm 100% confident that my guy wins, and by knockout. Okay, so Fury winning by knockout, whatever. I mean, Bob Arum also said that Kubrat Pulev was going to knock Joshua out, right? So, how much weight we can put on that. But the deal could be finalized within a fortnight. Now, here's the thing. That's the part that's interesting. He's 95% confident that this fight happens. Then, skip the part about Fury knocking him out and all of that. A deal could be finalized within a fortnight. Guys, Bob Arum and the things he say, I mean, we all can agree that you can only take what Bob Arum says with a grain of salt. Like, can't put too much weight or faith into what Bob Arum says. He'll change it up tomorrow on us. But the reality is both sides are talking about this fight is going to happen. It's not just Bob Arum. When we look over here, Matchroom Supremo Eddie Hearn has claimed that the Ukraine heavyweight Oleksandr Usyk has been making unreasonable demands amid speculations that he will step aside and enable Anthony Joshua's highly anticipated bout with Tyson Fury. Usyk is a mandatory challenger to Joshua's WBO heavyweight title, meaning the Walford-born fighter runs the risk of being forced to vacate his belt if he pursues an all-star clash with Fury. And then the same article goes on to say Hearn, who is aiming to strike a deal between the two British champions as soon as possible, believes the fight will take place this year, regardless of any objections from Usyk's camp. So there we go again with another party, other side, Joshua Fury, and they're singing the same song that this fight will go forward. They go over, however, he sees the Ukrainian demands as unrealistic, citing reports that Usyk wants a cut of the fight purse in order to remove himself from the equation. Hearn says, I think it's a situation where it's really a dig at any of his team, but some people just have the idea that they should be getting millions of dollars to step aside for this fight. Hearn told Boxing Social. Really what happened is we will apply to the WBO for the undisputed fight. And if they say no, you need to talk to Oleksandr Usyk. We will go to Usyk and we will try to make him happy to allow the fight to go on. And, that's coming from Eddie Hearn. And basically, Eddie Hearn is just saying they're going to try everything they do to basically not be extorted for money. We talked about this before on one of the lives that we had, and some people felt like, no, Jimmy, my guy Jimmy said, no way that Usyk gets millions of dollars. And Eddie Hearn is, kind of backing up what Jimmy was saying. Some people think that he should get millions of dollars just to step aside. And we don't know how many million or what they're asking for, but Hearns was specific about millions of dollars. So the question could be is, how many million? Is Usyk and them really demanding that 10 million that we went back and forth with on the live? Whatever he's demanding doesn't seem reasonable, at least not to Hearn and his side of the party. Here's the thing though, if Anthony Joshua was forced to relinquish that belt, we just did a live yesterday talking about Deontay Wilder. This is a potential fight that could happen because Usyk would definitely have rights to fight for that belt if it was relinquished. Joshua and Fury could go on to fight, although this fight would not be for 4-belt undisputed because the WBO belt would not be involved. Usyk could end up meeting Deontay Wilder for that WBO title. Wouldn't that be interesting? Usyk has actually already called out Deontay Wilder. He already said that he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because if the belt does have to be relinquished, if they do have to vacate, we know that Usyk is going to have rights to fight for that belt. Do they fight Wilder? Is it possible, guys, that we could get a Wilder-Fury matchup? Wilder-Usyk matchup and a Joshua-Fury matchup next year? Won't be for all undisputed, for neither, but the winner between Wilder and Usyk and the winner between Fury and Joshua could meet up. It all depends, guys. I'm not sure if the rematch clause, the 2-fight deal that's going on between Joshua and Fury, if that's predicated on all of the belts being involved or not. But like I said in the beginning, man, what a tangled web for 4-belt undisputed right now. Just some thoughts that I had on this because, look, man, the ultimate prize, I think, for most fans, Joshua Fury. That's what we really all want. A lot of Wilder fans want him to get a shot back at his title, and I get it. They feel like Fury cheated or whatever, and if there's any validity to that, you got to understand why they want Wilder to get another shot. They feel like there's validity to it. Me, I'm not sure. Is it valid? Did he cheat? Did he not cheat? I don't know, and I don't care because there's been no proof submitted to any commissions or anything like that. So as far as it is to me, it is a draw and there's a loss. And Fury hasn't lost anything. Wilder has, and that's how it is until it's proven to be otherwise. Not by Young Pharaoh and not by, a community of channels that believe that their eyes is proof. No, it has to be proven to the commission, sanctioning bodies, to the courts. And once that happens, then hey, man, he cheated. Strip him of the belt, give Wilder his title back, and let's move on with boxing. But until then, we just have to look at it as the only dispute between Wilder and Fury is a contractual disagreement, and which is in arbitration and mediation. We haven't had any word yet of if that situation has been handled. But again, guys, we could potentially get Wilder versus Usyk matchup next year, and then Tyson Fury versus Joshua anyway. And what happens if the winner goes after the winner? We could still potentially get 4-belt undisputed in the heavyweight division. May not be with the two guys that everyone's talking about, 4-belt undisputed for Joshua versus Fury, but who knows? Joshua could beat Fury and Usyk beats Wilder, and then we'll have Usyk versus Joshua anyway for 4-belt undisputed. Wilder could knock Usyk out. I don't know if that would be so great, because would he dance around with that WBO belt the way he danced around with the WBC belt? Will he give Wilder that title? Anthony Joshua that title shot? I mean, they asked for $100 million. Wasn't a pandemic. What would they ask for this time? Who knows? Could go that Fury beats Joshua. Either scenario in that fight with Fury or Joshua, I think that those two guys will go on to pursue 4-belt undisputed. Say that Usyk dances around and beats Deontay Wilder. We could see a Usyk versus Fury, skill versus skill 4-belt undisputed match. British versus Middle Eastern fighter would be huge. Usyk versus Joshua, Usyk versus Fury. How about Wilder versus Fury for all the marbles? Another possibility. Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder knocks out Oleksandr Usyk. And the rematch, the trilogy match that was supposed to happen, happens anyway. That's a match for 4-belt undisputed that I think Wilder wouldn't dance around. That's a match for 4-belt undisputed that Wilder couldn't dance around. simple facts of the matter is this. He's put up all of this fuss. He said that Fury's cheated him. He needs to honor his word and give him a rematch, which means Wilder definitely wants that rematch. Well, you cannot go get the belt and then dance around that rematch if Fury's holding the belt. So it appears to me, guys, no matter how this turns out, we just may get a 4-belt undisputed match. And we probably will definitely see Fury versus Joshua next year. Hopefully Usyk does step aside, Wilder loses in arbitration, and we just get the 4-belt undisputed match between Joshua and Fury. I think, to me, it's as important, probably more important, that we get a 4-belt undisputed match at heavyweight. To tell you guys the truth, I don't give a damn which of these two guys are fighting each other. Just as long as all 4 belts are on the line. You know, I really have no horse in the race, so to speak, of which 2 guys fight for all belts. I just hope we get 4-belt undisputed. Good luck to Wilder and Usyk and Joshua and Fury and their endeavors to chase down 4-belt undisputed at the heavyweight division. Hopefully we get it, but things do look pretty good as far as us getting the fight with Joshua and Fury, and you know, there could be some upside to 4-belt undisputed at the heavyweight division, no matter how this works out. We'll just have to see, man. We know that the politics of boxing and all of the nonsense going on could change a lot of things, but again, we'll have to see. You know, hopefully we get it, guys. Hopefully we get it. Joshua versus Fury, biggest fight in boxing right now. And it's right on the horizon. Joshua and Fury jawing off at each other. You know, the back and forth is already starting. And it's looking like it's heating up. Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum are pretty confident that they're going to make this fight happen next year. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We know how boxing goes. Y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.
Block with the shot. Pull up to the block and you can shot. What you want? Watch out, cause the cops hot. We shoot a shot if you see the eye. You can't ball if you ain't got no hustle. Bitch, I keep my grind on.